The thing about Big Ramy is he's fucking big. He's like 5'10", 300 pounds on stage. He gets up to like 340, 350 in the offseason. And out of all the big bodybuilders, he is the biggest. They've never seen somebody this fucking big. Now, what's great about Big Ramy is he's been winning the Mr. Olympia the past few years. He recently this last year and was just the nicest guy ever. So I've been watching Big Ramy for, 5, 6 something years now. And so he's been hard to get to know because he doesn't speak English until recently. He started speaking English the past couple of years, been working on that. But so I have been able to like soak him in and get to know him. And one of the things that's always been weird as I've been watching this guy is that he's just kind of reluctantly the champ. Like he doesn't really want to be the champ. And that's been his problem over the years is that he'll come in, not quite totally in shape. And what they mean by that is like, obviously he's in shape, but like he won't be as like super paper thin skin. Like he'll still have a little bit of body fat left on him. So like he'll waste a year. And people are like, man, that guy could have won if he was just in shape a little bit more and pushed himself a little harder. And then they get to kind of know these coaches in the background. These coaches are like, yeah, he's still kind of a kid. He has a hard time pushing himself. We got to push him harder. And so you get this thing of like, you got to get this external motivation to get Big Ramy moving. He's not like aggressive and driven and angry and mad and has to be the top and has to be number one. And then recently, finally, as he lost this last Olympia, they've had interviews of him. He's just like, okay, yeah, I'm everybody's friend. I don't really like competing. I want to do my best. I want to hang out with everybody. I'm like, there you are. That's what I've been that's what I've been seeing. That's what I've been trying to actually catch him out in the wild. So I got some clips of that. He's still got a language barrier, but you can hear what he's saying. And what's fascinating is this is an example of what we're seeing in all the types. Is that even though he is the exact same type as Nick Walker, this video will only make sense if you watch the Nick Walker video right before it. Even though he's the same type as Brad Pitt and the same type as Nick Walker, all three of them, most likely from what we're seeing, are different social types. So what I mean by that is like, you think that you have endless free will. And at first, when we don't have a lot of data, you do. You're the biggest snowflake and nobody can fucking prove that there's anybody else out there just like you. And then you start to see these type twins show up. You're like, oh shit, that's kind of weird. I hope that doesn't happen to me. And then you get somebody like, wow, that person does look a lot like me. But then you kind of get to know them and they're like, oh, well, you're the same type as me, but you're so different. You're so different than me. You're just not the same as me. I still have my free will and my upbringing and my story. Like, you know what? Fuck, you got away. You're kind of right. Then we get more and more and more data. And it's like, wait a minute. So you are different from your type twin, but there's type twins within type twins of here's now a set smaller number of people that do have the exact same story. And they are like type twins of type twins of type twins. And that's when we see things like if they have a similar upbringing, if they're a similar nationality, if they're both males or they're both females, they're both the same age, they both grew up in the same part of the country, and if they have the same social drive. And when you really look back, you'll like have stories. You're like that one time in junior high, and when I went to camp, I realized like you'll have these awakening stories. But then also if you look at it, you're like, well, I've kind of always had that, and these stories kind of just wake you up to it. You know what I mean? So Big Ramy, here's his official type, exact same type as Nick Walker. So this is like an introverted Jake Paul, and Jake Paul would be a really, really, really good example of a number one. Because not all Jake Pauls, not all SEFIs are that aggressive, that driven. Jake Paul is, because he's a fucking number one, and he's always been that way, So let me play this first clip of Big Ramy. You would think this guy should be a monster. He should be super aggressive. He should be crush everybody, but watch this.
Captain, one time, double bicep, one time. One time. Whoa!
Personal question from myself actually. Many guys on the stage, like I don't know, Nick Walker or whoever, like are very offensive from the character, on the stage. But you are very like humble. What is always your plan on the stage? With what kind of mindset you go into the stage?
Okay.
What is your character on the stage?
Okay, my character I never changed it in my life. With the people in the street, when me was me in the gym, everywhere. It's my character, it's my personality.
Yeah.
My personality, I respect everyone. And I never change that for any reason. I don't like to be acting. I am the aggressive, aggressive.
Ego, he doesn't like ego.
The ball, because I'm not like this, that person. I love to be myself. I love to be always humble, because I know
humble.
this sport will be. I'm done with this sport one day, and people remember me. I respect everyone. I did my best with everyone. I never hate anyone. I love everyone I meet in my life. I never had in my heart anything to anyone in my life.
Yeah, and I can say really just.
Okay, are you seeing this? Now, this is not just clips out of context. I've been following this guy fucking for years. This is Big Ramy. He is the nicest guy in the world. His self-report is completely accurate. And notice how the other guy's like, hey, you're not like, who? Who did he say? Nick Walker. It's the same goddamn 5'12 type. He's like, you're not ego. Yeah, I'm not ego. So looking at the number 4s, so they're at the bottom of the pyramid, but they're the nicest fucking people. So it's the opposite of the number 1s. The number 1s have ego first. I got to be the best. I got to be this guy. I got to be aggressive and fuck all my friends. The number 4s are the other way around. They're like, no. Look, your ego thing's gonna come and go. So notice how the mind makes sense of it, right? Your ego thing's gonna come and go. You're gonna be old. Come on, let's plan ahead here, right? Let me use my fucking NI. Friends. I've always been friends first, and then there's the specialization. So it's like, okay, I want to stay friends with everybody, and then I'll find this little niche to do. I'll find this little thing to do. So Big Ramy's like, okay, fine, I'll do the bodybuilding for now. I'll specialize in that for now, right? Where Ramy's had a hard time is with the ownership. He's had a hard time with the ownership. I see people that have responsibility low. When you tell them, like, be responsible, they're like, what the hell are you talking about? Jocko would be a good example of a number 2 who has responsibility first, and his message is responsibility. And then the ones that have responsibility at the top, they're like, what do you mean you don't know what responsibility is? Responsibility is like, you're just doing extra credit on everything. You're just stealing the other guy's project on fucking everything. You're doing your one little thing, which is like 1%, and then as soon as you're done with your 1 8-hour day, with your one little specialized job, you're then stealing everybody else's job. You're planning ahead, you're systematizing, you're doing the extra credit. That's what responsibility feels like. To the average person, they're like, why the hell would I do 10 times? Like, well, that's what happens when you have this manic responsibility at the top. Ramy not. And so when he's doing his bodybuilding, he's like, what? I worked out. I ate. I did the tanning oil. They're like, no, dude, you gotta do so much more cheating. You gotta do so much more. Nick Walker is cheating. You gotta cheat to get ahead.
The 5th place award, Big Ramy.
Whoa, Big Ramy.
5th place. He lost. He just lost the Olympia.
And
he's hugging everybody.
Is because I was hoping I wasn't right.
Yeah.
All right, let me pause real quick. Okay, he just lost the Olympia. He's been winning a few years in a row. Okay, you're supposed to fall on the ground. You're supposed to do what everybody else does. You're supposed to get mad. You're supposed to protest. No, he takes the time to go down and smile. He's not just doing it, but he's gonna go hug everybody. He just got 5th place. He got fucking robbed of his title, and he's the happiest guy in the world. What happened?
Hottie
Way over there.
Chupan.
Good stuff.
So that's the
right
first
there.
place guy.
Hottie Chupan, man. Oh my gosh.
Where's Ramy? There he
I'm
is.
so happy for this guy.
I'm happy for both of them.
happy for both of them, but man, Hottie Chupan from Iran, amazing.
A couple years ago, Hottie had trouble even getting to the country.
Exactly.
And look, Ramy is just friendsing everybody.
Like, oh, I signed my name on the dotted line and everything's going to be okay.
Ramy thinks he's at a fucking wedding. Like, he doesn't even know he's on stage. Like, hey, you just lost. He's like, he doesn't even care. He's like, hey, I haven't seen you all year. How you doing? Like, that's friends first. And it's not a show. It's like you see some people lose, like, great. Like, no, that's not Ramy. He loves his buddies. He loves his friends. He really is the farthest from an egomaniac. Now, Ramy's message is also the same thing that we see with Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan being one of the best examples we see ever as a number 4. Like, Joe Rogan's, made a $100 million deal with Spotify. It's like, why is Joe Rogan not aggressive? Why is he not at the top? Why is he not competing? Like, Joe Rogan's podcast is real. Like, in the sense of, like, he doesn't have a scam. He doesn't have a business. He's not trying to go anywhere. He just wants to hang out with everybody. He just wants to be everybody's friend. That's it. Like, there's no alternative motive to Joe Rogan because Joe Rogan's the number 4, right? Ramy's the number 4. And so what both Ramy and Rogan say is like, you know what? You do got to go out. You got to explore. You got to find what that little thing is down there that you can specialize in, that you really want to do. You got to kind of discover your passion and find your way. But it's in the context of you got to stay connected to everybody else, Anyways, the point is, everyone's going to fuck this up. We're already seeing that. Everyone's going to fuck it up. You're going to type yourself goddamn upside down. You're going to think that one's the best and that one's the worst. And I got to be the one at the top. No, I got to be the nicest guy at the bottom. It's just going to be a complete shit mess. Watch it just fuck itself off in the fucking community. Anyways, for the 20-30% that are like, wait a minute, that is very interesting. I have been seeing that. Hold on, let me work on that. It's definitely something to look for.
Okay, this is very important to everyone in life. Everyone have a gift from him, God, but you have to find it in yourself.
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Maybe you never know. Maybe you find it.
Yeah.
But if you need to live a good life, you have to find what the God gave it to you is the difference between you to others. And you find it, you will be number 1 in your place. Any place the God has choose for you. It's any place. It's bodybuilding, or you are the best seller, or you are the best cleanest person, or it's any place.
Yeah.
But you have to find, you have to find in yourself.
Yeah, right.
And when I said, I will try with myself to be in this game. And after I said, I have a plan. I have to make a plan, like always in my life. I have 6 months. I have to win this show. I win the show. And after 2 years, I said, I need to be professional. In 2013, I'm professional. I win my first show. And I go Colombia. And I said, I will win Mr. Colombia. And God gave me that. And anything
God gave me that.
I have a plan before I did. And it's happened in time.